All right, I think we are live. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is KARIM. Welcome to the Crypto Code, our first live viewing ever. And I'm very happy to have my dear friend and partner, DANI, right here. And we're going to be doing this for the first time so we can stay up to date and keep you in the know of what's happening. There's a lot of exciting things happening right now. Obviously, Bitcoin crossed the $100,000. We're seeing green across all the markets, which is super cool. DANI, how are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you very much. Indeed, we are going live for the very first time. We switch a little bit the crypto code style, not only from the recordings and scripting, but I think this format is more close to exactly to what's happening in the market on the spot, right? So we can give all these insights right away, guys. And please, if you like what we are doing, please subscribe. Join us on this journey. We are here to give you the best insights in the market, what's going on right there when it's happening. So today is a big day because our big boy just reclaimed $100,000, right?
35% up just this month alone.
Who would have
Insane.
thought, after
Right?
this period.
Bro, so I was telling you, crypto moves so fast, but with Trump, it moves even faster. And every time we post a video about what's happening, it feels like it keeps moving. So it's great to finally have this kind of format where we can stay and update the viewers with what's happening right now. Ethereum, tell me,
Yeah.
$2,200, up 55% this month alone. Insane. Sui, up 102%. Chainlink, 44%. It's green everywhere. Like I was looking at CryptoBubble.com, you can see it's just insane. It's green all over the markets, DANI. This is a great day. I think we should be going live more often.
yeah, indeed. It's a good sign. So I just, if you remember 10 days ago or even like 2 weeks, everything was, I think we were in that sentiment where
We thought the world will end.
everything what you saw on the news was only recession, like the big crash is coming. Everyone was so bearish. And, the sentiment was like,
Absolutely.
is it still worth it? Like what we are doing here is going to, Bitcoin was testing low levels, below 90K even. So it was...
And we were telling
super
everyone
crazy.
to top up when it was $78,000 on Bitcoin. Remember when there was fear in the market? I think fear hit 15 at that point. Now it's at 70, greed, right? So that's what we always preach here, is that when everyone is scared to buy, it's probably the best time to buy, right? And we were dollar cost averaging in at that time. And I was reading about it too. It's very interesting because in 2008 and then in COVID, these were all like natural disasters that were out of our control. Today, it feels like it's only under one person's control who, can tweet a new tariff 200% on China, and it's all man-made essentially, right? So it's a very different dynamic. In fact, like everything in the economy is going well. AI is making everyone super productive. Like everything's going great except for this one thing where we have a guy in power who decides to tax, put high taxes on China and others, and then it feels man-made. So I feel like that's why we always felt like this was just going to rebound very fast.
I think for the next 4 years, we are going to have a great movie presented to us because this guy, obviously, at least for this mandate, he came to play, his
he knows how to make a
his
negotiation.
attitude right now is totally different than the first one. And hopefully he will lead, all these macroeconomic aspects and all these country level deals in the right way and make it fair for anyone. Anyway, China will not just obey to his.
You and I both
decisions.
have an experience with China. We know exactly how it works.
You more than you more than me for sure. You've been there for 10 years, right?
Yeah, I've been there for 10 years, but I think it's safe to say like everyone has some experience with like buying or selling or trading with China. Like it's such a huge thing, and watching how this all plays out is fascinating because you and I have been in the space for a while. But yeah, it's fascinating to see. Again, I think they will come with a deal, and I think that's what the market is now realizing, that the UK closed the deal. There's 70 countries apparently in the pipeline for closing a deal. China will definitely close the deal, and it might be like, iPhones will be exempt. Maybe the cars will still have a high tax because they're very competitive. Natural minerals will be coming through. So I think it's going to be very surgical. In the beginning, it felt like it wasn't. It was just like a huge hammer on what's going on. But I think it will be more surgical. And the price and the markets, you can see, is now reacting to that.
Definitely, there are so many elements involved, right? When you talk about deals between China and US, it's a massive trade right behind. You can't just play with, okay, I'll put 200% tariffs on everything, and what? Like, there's so many implications. Tomorrow, you don't have, I don't know, bulbs or lights in your country, right? So
it's all the whole world is super connected, right? I mean, China has a lot of the debt that from the US, and like all of these things are connected. And you're seeing now shipping is down 60% in the United States. Like all these containers are not coming; they're canceling orders. So it's also going to be very difficult for Chinese factories who relied on these huge customers. America is a huge market after all. So it's exciting to see that finally the world is realizing that there will be a solution, I think, and we're going to see hopefully some deals being made, and clearly the markets are reacting to all of that. So exciting stuff.
I think this is one of the most important elements in the market, particularly in crypto. Beside that, the fact that the market is pumping, everything is green, as Karim mentioned. Up to 40%, 50%, some projects, right? If we talk about virtuals, or if we talk even Ethereum, has a very good run in the last days. But the most important thing, guys, is to understand why. Like, why all this pump? It's just, a matter of something great news, and the market is pumping a little bit, is a reaction, or is something related to fundamentals, something that Fed are going with the rates in the right direction, and we can see more liquidity in the next 3-6 months. I mean, all these liquidity elements, all these money elements, all these economic elements will give us actually the right element for this pump, right? Because then we'll be sustainable. Then we can literally talk about a legit altcoin season that I think the entire market has been waiting for like 3-4 years by now, right?
100%. I actually wanted to talk about that. Bitcoin dominance, which I'm showing right here, you can see on the chart. We're at 60, almost 64% Bitcoin dominance, and it's starting to trend downwards, which we were talking about the altcoin season. But something fascinating that I realized during this, I don't know what we're going to call it, this dip in the stock market, is the decoupling of Bitcoin from the stock market. It used to be during natural events like COVID and these things, when the stock market went down, Bitcoin would also go down. But this time it kind of followed the same way as gold. People were starting to realize that it's a great way to store your money and be safe. This was the first time this kind of thing happened. And I think, as you mentioned, I think altcoin season is just around the corner. We're seeing it finally trend downwards on the Bitcoin dominance chart here on TradingView we're looking at right now. So excited to see. And we're seeing it with Ethereum, with Sui, with all of these amazing layer ones that are happening. So yeah, cool stuff in the market, honestly. And then let's talk about some of the news, Danny, this week. I mean, wow, what a week of announcements. I mean, we have a news channel, ICN.live, where you've been posting some amazing stuff. Let's talk. I have a lot of things I want to talk about, but let's see what caught your attention.
ICN.live is a part of the ICN Web3 Media, is our flagship ecosystem product, where we put a lot of efforts to bring all the hottest news, the topics, and anyone who wants to stay in top of the entire industry, with news around Bitcoin, gaming, AI. We put a lot of news around AI because obviously it's a huge market, and being so early, a lot of things are in the development stage, and great news, great partnerships. All these big players like OpenAI, Gemini, DeepSeek, Chinese guys, and all other Grok from Elon Musk. They develop great products, and we try to cover all this stuff. And I think we are doing good so far. It's a new product, if you think as a business, just less than a year. And then we have all these interviews. We have key opinion. with great leaders in the industry where they express themselves based on current market conditions. So you can have an interaction with those experts' minds, what's actually their vision, how they see the market in a certain moment. All this stuff you find on ICN.live. And
join the Telegram group. Yeah, stay up to date. We'll send all the latest information there. You'll find the link below. And there's a lot happening on. I was looking at ICN.live the other just this morning. Actually,
there are a lot of news around stablecoin.
That's what I wanted to see. Yeah, exactly.
Stablecoin week.
Stripe launched stablecoins in 100+ countries. Ramp launched stablecoin cards. Who else? Meta is coming into the stablecoin game. Insane. And then what about this acquisition? That's all over the news. The biggest acquisition in crypto.
The largest.
The largest. Indeed. Coinbase buying actually a UAE-based company called Deribit. This is insane. It's $3.9 billion, I think, and it's going to close by the end of the year. A lot of things happening. I mean,
what do you think about this acquisition? Like, because there are talks around that. The Coinbase is becoming like
too big.
Yeah, like their level of control is already.
It's very centralized. Let's say
sensitive. Yeah.
Well, from what I understood, I feel like they're just going to have more options and features to give to their customers in terms of like futures and shorting and leverage trading and all these kind of things that Deribit already has. I read Deribit does like $1 trillion of volume. It's a big player. So I think that's great. But I was having this conversation actually with a friend about centralized exchanges and like, in the beginning we really needed them to kind of buy our assets. But here in the UAE, and I think most banks will have this very soon, it's like the WEO Personal Bank, for example. I can buy Bitcoin on my bank account. And I think every bank account is going to eventually have this where why would I go on a centralized exchange? If I ever pass away, God forbid, how would my kids ever get that token? I mean, it's just lost, right? Or if the centralized exchange goes down, what happens in that case? I'm just curious to see, like, now we're seeing bank accounts letting us buy Bitcoin. And obviously, if I pass away, they'll give it to my family because it's all regulated in that sense. So I'm interested to see how that, their competition now is going to be neobanks and new banks. And it's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. But that's just my personal thing that I was just thinking about the other day about how this is all shifting.
And another element is this part with, the private key and, secret keys, all this stuff. Like
unnecessary. I mean, today.
You don't need to pay attention to that too much, right?
Yeah.
Because if the bank is your custody, then
it's
you
insured,
just show up with your passport or
100%.
ID and that's it. Like
100%.
You don't need to worry too much. But in the same time, you need to be aware that that Bitcoin is not yours.
Yeah, like and Bitcoin and banks.
You can't access it. I don't know. Whenever you want.
It's with someone else's custody.
In certain conditions, we have seen stuff with banks, right?
That's true. Very true.
Look at Lebanon. Those limits. Yeah. You can't withdraw this much or this much, so that
or freeze
that's
your
a
account.
little bit the way how I see it is a little bit, and not only a little bit, a lot more against the core of Bitcoin, right?
100%.
Because this is the thing, like freedom of money. You can do whatever you want. You don't need to depend on the system.
No one can take it away.
Yeah, no one can take it away from you. You are literally, your owner of your finance all the time, 24/7, 365. So then if you keep the Bitcoin in the bank, okay, is this safety net where you are more chill with all these security aspects.
Pros and
cons. But then again,
there's pros and cons. Now that every bank account can
is
buy
in the
Bitcoin,
bank is not with you.
Yeah, that's true.
This is one element that everyone should look for it.
Very interesting. Last week, Dubai was insane. I don't think I slept until like midnight every day. Token 2049, insane event. There were 600 side events. I saw Dr. Marwan Zarouni talk about this. There was Polygon opened up an office, a physical office in Al Quoz. I don't know if you saw this. So much going on here. It's amazing.
Animoca Brands, they came to.
Animoca Brands was here. It was just insane. I met so many different people. What did any trends or anything you caught your eye last week?
I think, it's been a crazy week. Indeed, 600 events. it's just insane. Like if you think 600 events within a month, in Dubai alone, right? Like we talk about only in Dubai.
In 1 week.
It's yeah, of course, and around token 49, all this concentration will be to the roof. Side events, private dinners, and all these type of things that actually, because what's happening, guys, around all these the largest events in our industry, when they show up in Dubai, everyone wants to take advantage of the fact that the entire industry will be here. So every single ecosystem, either is an investment fund, PR marketing agencies, other protocols that they develop in the industry, they want to, organize their own events, have their own networking, invite people from the ecosystem, and this entire enthusiasm, this entire game of networking is just positioning the Dubai to an incredible hub of experts, open-minded people. The vibe was like unbelievable. Like, I don't know, this year particularly, I felt that all the events, when you go there and attend, like immediately there is something special in the air. I don't know, like everyone is open. You go there, you introduce yourself, you talk about your projects, and you find these connections all the time. Like it's the vibe, it's incredible indeed.
Completely agree, and I met with so many VCs who were active again, investing in pre-token and post-token. A lot of market makers, auditors everywhere I saw. What else did I see? I saw, what's it called? I saw a lot of RWA shifting from tokenization of, trying to find real yields with these tokenizations. So it was a lot of cool things happening, and a lot of projects from outside looking to kind of build here in the UAE. And the ones in the US also very excited with what's happening with, Trump and the administration being very pro-crypto. So it felt very bullish, like you're saying. I mean, everyone was very excited and very...
yeah, and another one, it was the fact that those builders behind the projects right now, they pretty much they get it, they don't build, okay, let's raise $5 million and put 2 million behind KOLs, pump the project, and then this is not the case anymore. Like
people are smarter now.
They start creating indeed projects with real utility. When you go and you talk to them, you see that there is a real problem they solve in the market. So this is I would say is a big shift, because once we see these projects out, okay, it might take 6 months, it might take 1 year, because the development stage, the execution. But once we have this concentration of projects with real utility outside, I think the market will look way better, and of course, from the investment perspective, you'll feel more comfortable, more confident to start deploying again like crazy, like we saw in a I don't know, 2021 or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
it's very bullish. I was very excited. And then there was also Sui Connect. I was invited to that, which was like a huge event in Festival City, like a huge conference center. There was like booths with everyone building on Sui. It felt like an Apple event. Like it was really a well done thing. And we had a demo day as well with like a lot of these startups. It just felt like the vibe was so infectious and exciting to see what everyone's doing. And people, every third person is like, you know what, I'm considering moving to Dubai. I'm like, please don't, it's enough. I've had enough. But so many people want to move here.
I think Sui right now is on everyone's lips.
Everyone's lips, because the technology is great.
Is watching Sui right now. You are close to them in terms of ecosystem. Can you give me more insights? Like what's hot right now with Sui?
So the infrastructure that they're building is really, really interesting, and it's very powerful. The level of developers that they have, who are all like ex-Meta and what's it called? The cryptographers from WhatsApp. Like I'm talking about a team that
super technical guys.
Super technical, super high, and they really are solving for TPS, transactions per seconds, for scalability, for a lot of potentially challenging AWS and Azure and all of these cloud businesses on chain, but really doing it. You know what I mean? Like these guys know what they're doing, rather than the ones who talk about it and don't. So they
recently launched the console for gaming.
I
right?
saw it, and I saw it. It's a computer, essentially. Yeah, it's crazy. It's amazing. And
can you imagine this for gaming?
Yeah.
Like this, the impact.
It's amazing. And it's going to be for Web 2 plus Web 3 gaming, by the way. And I saw we posted recently about GTA 6. I was so excited to see that coming out, but I guess maybe...
Partnership with Adidas.
It's
Sui, right?
Sui, yeah. I mean, they were doing keynote speeches with some of the leadership talking about the products that are coming out.
Many great things around this.
So many great things, and I think the Move language that they've built this whole thing around is very easy for developers to understand and build. So yeah, like you said, it's a contender to the big boys, Ethereum and them, and they're not going anywhere. They're building fast, very fast.
I mean, you guys, if you watch our channels on Crypto Code, KARIM, he expressed his opinion on Sui many times, actually, because
we don't hide anything. We talk about the truth. We talk about everything and the risks involved with all of them. So go check out the videos. Definitely.
Not financial advice. Don't just buy Sui because we are bullish on Sui. Just do your own research all the time. We just express our point of views, and
we are not financial advisors.
Yeah, we try to make it legit. Why I'm bullish on Sui, and we are going to give you a lot of insights. KARIM is part of the Brink. You're in partnership with them, right?
Yeah. So I spent most of my career in startups, but the last 3 years at Brink, which is a venture accelerator backed by Animoca Brands, actually making a huge announcement next week on my new role and title. So very excited about that. And we're going to do a lot more together with DANI and what we're doing at Crypto Code to really push the agenda on what we talk about. Digital assets is the future and everything that we're talking about. Very excited about that. So I'm in the trenches. I'm in the ground working with layer ones like Sui and others to support startups and really build in this ecosystem. So I get to see a lot of these projects before a lot of people do. And as DANI said, we talk about the risks. Everything has risks, but we also talk about the upside if there is one. And we try to be as fair and impartial as possible. So that was another highlight that I had from last week. I was really excited to talk about. There's so much going on.
Also, we need to give a big shout out to GAF Capital guys, right?
Massive.
Massive shout out to GAF Capital. And they are legit builders in the Indian ecosystem around Sui with Mr. Firas there leading the entire ecosystem. Big congrats, guys. Unbelievable work.
Absolutely, they're one of the they're representing Sui here in the region and really pushing to advance the ecosystem, support startups the best way they can, and they're doing a great job at it. And it's a pleasure to work with Gaf and the folks there, CJ, Christoph, and everyone there. So fantastic. Okay, I saw on the news. Apple dropped the ban on crypto payments. No more 30%. Now you can enjoy with NFTs and all these things.
It was annoying, man.
But what is happening?
Super annoying.
All the good news is just coming out at the same time. It's
thanks God.
It's crazy though.
It was literally something that shouldn't be there. I think now also Apple understood that the market is moving so fast. So it's not about the smartest, it's the one who adapts, right?
Yeah, you don't want to be left behind.
Yeah, so if you don't adapt to the markets, you are bye-bye. Particularly in this industry, man. I don't know, I'm so bullish in terms of, blockchain as a whole, as this technology is something unbelievable. My background is I'm coming from e-commerce as an entrepreneur. But when I started building in this industry, I felt the most stupid person on planet Earth. I understood that I need to shut up and just listen because it's a totally different stuff, a totally different level, people way smarter than you. If you talk with one developer and who's doing the smart contracts or, I'm not talking about AI, guys. This is the next level of next level, right? So it's so much to learn. And I feel like I'm a dry sponge, I'm so bullish to absorb all this beautiful technology and information to learn more and, be able to execute and build. This is really a great time to be alive, indeed.
I mean, with the biggest mover in the space, first and foremost, are stablecoins. I mean, this really transformed the way we interact and do finance, where we can transfer money from here to Japan in a second on a Sunday. No need to wait over the weekend for the banks, which is, and very low fees. Like, you're talking about cents on the dollar. So definitely
in a 7-figure transaction.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, this is important.
It's insane. And now I was looking at. It took us a while to build that kind of infrastructure out on stablecoins, lending, DeFi, and all these things. And now we're seeing Superstate launching its on-chain equities. Like, soon we're going to see every stock on the stock market listed on chain. They're already working on this. Like, it's happening so fast. It's going to be like, you can buy a fraction of a share. You can trade at 24/7, 365. Like, there's so many new ways to like raise money for companies as well. You don't need to go NASDAQ and go through all of that. You can now.
What I don't want to see, actually, with this stablecoin game is, if we make an analogy with all this massive amount of projects, right, in token-wise, like, I don't know how many tokens we have right now in the market, like 2 million something. It's crazy.
Yeah,
15 million. It's 15 million point one. It's unbelievable. So what's happening is if every single ecosystem will launch their own stablecoin, that will be a mess. Then you will be like, okay, every single protocol, every single bank, every single ecosystem, they can launch their own stablecoin to play with. That then will be too much, I think. And somehow it's the same thing with those blockchain projects, right? Like, we have the big boy Ethereum, which we are going to talk a little bit more about it right now. And then we have all other layer ones, and then layer twos, and layer 0, and so many layers.
Layer negative.
Yeah, and at one point, then you stop building there because it's already there. Like, what do you want to do? And also, they become all these stable ones, right? Like, we talk about Sui right now. Sui in 5 years will be such an ecosystem that pretty much you don't need something else, right? Then you have Ethereum, then you have Solana, then you have, I don't know, BNB if you consider, but let's say 5-6 options. And then if you show up with another blockchain, like, we go like, bro, we don't need, like,
100%.
Just go on Sui. Sui is giving you this in 2 seconds. Like, you don't need. So this is the same thing with stablecoin somehow, like, the way how I see it. I don't want to see that explosion of stablecoin everywhere, that you get lost in all this.
Trump launched USD1 now, yes. But there's over $150 billion in stablecoins circulating today. So you're absolutely right. And I had a contrarian view that Tether would be challenged by like the ones who are being highly regulated. But it seems like Tether is actually stepping up and is the first mover, obviously. So they know what they're doing and they're not going anywhere for sure. But they command like more than 50% of the market share. So it's interesting. But that's been the major use case in this. And there's going to be
150 billion. Yeah.
I had a meeting with Ripple last week as well.
Amazing.
Yeah, so they're obviously into this space, trying to replace Swift and replace all these things. So there's a lot of exciting things happening. And
I mean, XRP launching a stablecoin will make sense.
Makes sense. RLUSD.
This is the game. Like, this is the natural step. But don't bring me, like 10 million market cap project. Now we are launching our stablecoin, and I don't want to see that actually.
All right, I wanted to get your opinion on Trump's first 100 days.
Oh wow!
I can't believe it's been only 100 days. It feels like it feels like I'm watching a reality TV show of you never know what's gonna happen next. But honestly, like the way that he has that power to just throw a tariff or just throw taxes on things just by himself without having to actually talk to the Congress or anything like that is just fascinating. But again, it's making us all discuss things that we probably were thinking, but it wasn't too exciting to talk about. But now people are like, wait, I didn't know China does that. Oh, I didn't know that this and that, right? So people are actually like discussing economics much more. Everyone's becoming an economist. So yeah, I have my own views. I'd like to hear how you would rate his first 100 days if you were a teacher.
Overall, I think he does a great job. The only thing is he needs to adjust the adrenaline a little bit,
It's a
right?
good point.
Because okay, I understand that the speech it has to be in a certain level during campaign, right? You show up with a lot of promises. If we remember, he said like, "I will stop the war in one day" and all this stuff. But then when you are literally in charge and then you need to actually implement what you just said, you face the reality. Things are not so easy that it looks like to end the war with such a big hate behind in one day. So I think overall, if you want to put like from 1 to 10, or
You can do whatever you want, man.
I don't know, from 1 to 10, I'll give to Trump 100 days a 7.
A 7, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the ideas and the
A
concepts.
7 plus, like a 7. This
Hey,
plus
that's
will,
good, man.
will
7
give
is
me
good.
the direction. It's not 7 minus. It's 7 plus.
I think the idea is
I
great,
believe.
but the execution could have been better, or maybe the information could have been said in a better way. And what I don't like is how you have in America like the two sides of news. You have like Fox News saying like one thing, then you have CNN going. I have my own reservations on how the United States is run these days, but overall I enjoy that he's making us think about these things in a more conversational way. The wars, obviously, I wanted those to end right away, but none of them have ended, by the way.
Yeah.
Both of them are still going, which is ridiculous.
And we have another big one running.
Oh my God, and we have another
India,
one,
Pakistan,
which is a massive one. Yeah. So yeah, I'd probably also rate him 6.5 out of 10. I think it could have been just communicated better. I feel like there was so much uncertainty. We didn't need this right now, but I think things are going to get much better. And hopefully now that we resolve the tariff things, and hopefully with China as well, we can go on to stopping these wars, because wars are useless and it doesn't help anyone.
Also, the elements have changed, like country level, right? And globally speaking, is not the case of 20 years ago anymore. Like the conversations 20 years ago with India or with other countries, they were like, I think it was like 5 minutes talking, right? Like, we are in the US, 1, 2, 3, done, right? But now it's not the case anymore. Like those countries, they develop, a lot of strengths, a lot of huge development as a country. Now they have, either AI or, if you think about AI what? AI is only about data, right? And if you have, we are talking India. So if you have behind like 1.4 billion population, this is a huge amount of data. Like right now, you can be an important player in AI field just because of this. Imagine the level of these people. They consume the news, whatever they do, like on daily basis. Everything is data, right? So then you have data from 1.4 billion people. You come at the table, in different position, right?
I mean,
this is one part, and then we talk about China. It's a huge country right now. It's not the same China like 20 years ago. This is right now. You talk with maybe a player bigger than you. So all these conditions have changed, and why I put like only 7, because I don't believe in this. Let's say strategy where you go and, hey, we are the US, we want to buy Greenland, we want to buy, like you cannot. Like if this is his strategy, he will be a loser because it's not working like this.
I love what you just said. I mean, 20 years, that's a great timeline, because what China has done over the past 20 years is remarkable. I mean, they let I think it was Clinton who they put China in the WTO, World Trade Organization. And what China has managed to do in 20 years is fascinating. So now they're the world's second largest economy. They're the world's second largest supplier to the United States. They're the second largest foreign holder of US debt, right? And what we saw when the tariffs were imposed was, for the first time ever, when the stock market goes down, most people flee and they go straight into the bonds. But people were like, countries were selling the bonds because they're like, well, we don't know what we're going to do here. And that was the first time that happened, and people were scared. And again, like all of these conversations around economy and economists is so fascinating. And when you have such a globalized world where the country that supplies the most to you also owns most of your debt, and then you're also in huge debt and have to pay huge interest on those loans, and you have to continue printing more money, and then you realize, wow, this is why Bitcoin was created. Like, it always comes back to Bitcoin and how it makes sense, because it just becomes such a good store of value, especially when money is just printed out of thin air and it's just a number on the paper. I was fascinated by Elon Musk, and I mean, a lot of people are hating on him now, especially on the left side. But this Department of Government Efficiency is so fascinating. I've gone down the rabbit hole of, like, he when he talks about it, he says there's one bank account. Like the United States has like one account line, right? And it's like, let's say it says $2 trillion in it, and then you have the Department of Education just with like drawing from that one account. Like, can you imagine like how open your mind becomes if you get into the position of seeing the United States bank account? Like, it's insane, right? And then they realize that they spend more than they make, and then they're printing money, and you're just like what is going on? And now they're finding all these like wasteful things that they're spending on, and you're like, you cannot continue with this anymore, right? And it all links together.
In the same time, I saw his podcast with Joe Rogan, the last one.
Yeah.
And at one point, Elon mentioned that there is a level where you can penetrate the system like this. After that is no. Like he literally mentioned that I don't want to die. So
It's
imagine
insane.
like we are talking Elon Musk, right? And we are talking right now Elon Musk, the like maybe the closest individual to Donald Trump right now, right? Like we see that the relationship is very strong right now. So if you have this type of speech while you are in the full power, this is something else, right? So I think they can do some stuff, but this corruption will have that percentage, that the status quo that will never be removed, right? Because the octopus of the system is so old and is so penetrated, like you need to remove so many things to cut from the roots, big elements, and then who will let you do that?
And there were like programs where they would like pay $30 million a year for like a program in Peru, and like, you know, like just $30 million in the grand scheme of things is nothing, but people were just getting rich off of some weird stuff like this.
They sent $50 million or $60 million in condoms to I don't know which African country, like.
Yeah, like who's producing that? Who's behind the thing? Yeah, it's insane. Yeah. Again, me and you have talked about this. I still think that Elon Musk and the PayPal mafia are probably behind Bitcoin and Satoshi, and that's my personal opinion. But let me know in the comments if you think I'm wrong. That's my personal opinion.
I had this question for Yatsu, and I had this question for, it's an upcoming ICN Talks guys podcast with Ran from Crypto Bunter. Will be out in 2 days. So they had a very similar answer to my question, who is Satoshi Nakamoto? And you know what they told me?
What?
Who cares, man?
Well, if someone finds out, I think it's going to.
We don't care.
You don't care?
They said so. Like, who cares? It doesn't matter. The Bitcoin is so big right now.
Yeah.
It's way beyond any
But how much
individual.
does he hold? He holds a lot. Satoshi
1
holds,
million still, yeah.
1 billion. 1 million.
1 million?
1 million
Yeah,
BTC.
yeah.
That's a lot, man.
Of course, but I don't know. It's even
What if it was North Korea's guy?
You'll never show up because it's not an individual.
That's the only risk of Bitcoin, by the way. That's the only risk of Bitcoin is who owns this 1 million. That's it. There's no, I can't think of any other risk other than that main one.
Yeah, but even if you think MicroStrategy right now is close to 500,000, right?
Yeah.
So we are there.
We are there. And there's more companies, by the way.
BlackRock is acquiring like crazy. In
there's
few
also
years will be the same level.
Strike CEO is building a company just around this. There's a lot going on. So Strike CEO launches 21 to buy as much Bitcoin as possible, raise $500 million. They're going to buy 42,000 Bitcoins. There's so many more companies coming just to do this.
We've seen this acquisition level. It's insane indeed. Like a lot of countries, they are buying Bitcoin every single day. El Salvador, they have a country level strategy to acquire 1 Bitcoin on daily basis, right?
It's crazy. So what's your price prediction for Bitcoin this year, end of the year?
It's tough. It's really tough because it depends on Trump's mood, right? It's ridiculous, but is still the market is dependent on this type of moves, and we are talking about President of the United States, and we talk about the Fed rates, so many implications, right? And we see that it's not really an ideal partnership there. So Trump mentioned a couple of times that, and very straightforward, that Mr. Chairman is not, matching his thoughts. So it's very interesting. It's very interesting. So far, what we have seen is a Bitcoin run. Like if you look back to, I don't know, let's say $40,000 level of Bitcoin. After that, actually after ETF approval, that was the moment when we started seeing Bitcoin running like crazy. We went, I don't know, in 1 month to 70, and then we played a little bit there, and after elections exploded to 110 or something, like the all-time high. So that's only Bitcoin. That everything else is
70% essentially of the market.
We talk about Ethereum, right? Ethereum, just 1 month ago, it was $1,500. This is a level of 2018. And Bitcoin is still, it was around 90,000, right? So, and I'm not talking about the altcoins. Like every single altcoin has been destroyed by this run of Bitcoin. So if you go and look at, I don't know, any protocol you want, is the level, it's unbelievable.
I want to switch now. I want to show TVL, and what I mean. Ethereum is still the biggest TVL here.
Obviously,
so I'm on DeFi Llama now, showcasing the TVL. So total value locked in crypto right now is $111 billion. Ethereum alone is still $59 billion.
Is going to be huge, and a lot of changes. Vitalik mentioned a couple of times his vision and where he wants to go with Ethereum, but it looks like he's losing the momentum, right? It's not only what Ethereum is doing, is also what other infrastructure. You see, SUI. Okay, you can have a bad year of slower implementation, but also you will face the competition's growth, because all other ecosystems, they develop like crazy. They are hard workers. Maybe they work harder than you, smarter than you.
Yeah.
And at one point, you wake up in the morning and you are not Ethereum number 2 anymore.
And liquidity is not infinite. I mean, people will move their money around. And
as you 100%. Mentioned, if SUI will make like a no-brainer for developers to do this job, to start building, and everything is, I don't know, maybe 20x cheaper, faster, easier. I don't know, customer support, headquarters.
Customer support.
Yeah,
it's a great point, man.
It's like, very important, right?
Yeah. I talk with a lot of developers, and actually that's a huge thing. I mean, with SUI and with Raf and the team, like you can talk to someone. For example, on Ton, you cannot. Or Ethereum, you cannot. I mean, Facebook you cannot, YouTube you cannot.
Facebook is just ridiculous. Like,
So once you get too big, you lose that customer support. Yeah, it's a very good point. Absolutely agree.
Yeah.
And I don't know how, maybe AI would be the solution to this actually.
yes, but in the same time, this AI it has to be
It has to know
efficient.
exactly your account.
Yeah, because it's if you show me one, if you bring me to a chat with one bot, and that one is like ridiculous basic.
Oh my God, I
Like,
get so annoyed. I go agent.
I'm already
agent,
fired up, you know,
Yeah.
like when I come because I have a problem.
Yeah.
And then you put this type of 3 questions, and if the answer is not there, you go back to the first one, or like this unbelievable
It should
crap.
know your history of what you've done and know who you
like,
are for you to. Yeah.
All the protocols out there, please don't do that. Don't implement that crap AI bot. You think that your customer service will be a world-class one with this type of services. Just be sure that you train them very well with all the objectives, all the challenges, all the problems that your customer have.
So I subscribe to ARK Invest, which is Kathy Wood. She's a very famous investor, and she does a quarterly YouTube like a report to her investors and what's going on in the market. Because you spoke about AI, I felt like it was a great way to continue that conversation.
Sure.
She has been very bullish this year, even with everything that's happened before. She's been very bullish, and I think we've been discussing this because it's man-made occurrence and what's happened. Whereas in today's, what's happening with technology and the way that AI is doubling and productivity, I feel myself personally, I'm 2-3x more productive than I was maybe 2 years ago. I'm able to output much faster, output more things on a personal level, produce more content as we do. So we were, as soon as these tariffs were like, you know, find a solution to it, we knew that this was all going to rebound very fast. So I'm very bullish on my prediction on Bitcoin this year.
I didn't answer to your question, eh?
Yeah, you didn't answer the number.
Okay, so number for this year, it's...
He's scared to be on. I have a number.
165.
Ooh, it's a good one. It's higher than mine.
Yeah.
Mine is 150. I feel like it's going to be at 150, and I think it's probably going to happen around October, November.
It will be 150 with a week.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of liquidations will happen at that 150. By the way, I also saw someone talk about that. Like, there's an expectation that the 110 to 150 is going to be 1 wick. Like, you go to bed, you wake up, and it's just 1 wick of insane action, which, you know, it could definitely happen. But yeah, it's been very interesting watching gold and Bitcoin be very nice, perform very well during the time of everything going down, and I think it's just going to be much stronger. And I think things are going to get much better now with the tariffs, and there's more certainty in the market as well. Very, very, very cool to
tariffs
look at that.
And also the Fed rates.
You think they're going to go down?
Yes, they have to. Like. It will be a big war if they don't.
You think like 3%? Like it'll go down from 4.5 to 3?
They have to start cutting. Yeah, they will start cutting. Like in the next two announcements will be with
bullish announcements.
Will be cuts. Yeah, and then we need to wait because this is another stuff. This liquidity will take time to actually reach the market, right? Because what they do, they just play these fine-tuning games, right, between banks, and they relax the interest rates, right? So then the central bank will be, in position to put cheaper money in the market for other banks. So the local banks will borrow cheaper. Obviously, they can put cheaper loans for people out there, and that's the moment when actually the liquidity will reach the average Joe pockets, right? And he will feel comfortable to start doing, to spend more, to invest more, and this is literally what's happening. Like once you have more money in your pocket, you are comfortable to have. This type of moves, your risk appetite is increasing, right? So then you start investing in risk assets like our industry, right? In the crypto space or stocks or whatever you feel. But you are taking these actions. But the market needs to achieve that moment. Once this liquidity will achieve the end user, aka the people, right, the crowd. So this will take time. This is not if the Fed will cut the rates tonight. Yeah, the market will pump a little bit because the reaction, but to actually have that liquidity in the market, it'll take like 6 months to 10 months sometimes, right? And after that, we'll see the real pump, because an altcoin season is not possible without retail. The retail has to enter in a very aggressive way. Like if you have $1,000 savings, you need to start buying like 200, 300, or 500. Start buying any.
I think that's going to happen. I mean, all bank accounts are going to,
the retail is
allow
not
it.
here. That's why we don't see any.
I think that's my prediction in the next year, is that every neobank and every app on, is going to be able, you're going to be able to buy Bitcoin with your dollar right away, like just on there. You don't need to go to an exchange. You don't need to know your seed phrase. You don't need to know all that.
That one will be huge, because it's also a comfort zone, right? Like you got your
It's your
salary,
bank,
whatever. Okay,
100%.
buy me $100 of worth of Bitcoin, and then we will see a huge demand, and we'll have that moment of crash, like crash in terms of demand, right? And will be the price will go to the roof. I think this is the scenario in my perspective.
And what's your strategy now with green in the markets? Are you focusing on certain like gaming, AI, or just Bitcoin, Ethereum?
As a personal level, not company, not Iron Capital, not in personal level. I just have 4 projects that I have my own levels. Once those levels are, achieved, I'm acquiring a certain amount, and that's it. Like I'm not doing.
I'm the same. I have friends always asking me like, "What do you think about these gaming coins and these AI?" And I'm like, dude, I mean, I'm a Bitcoin maxi. I like Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Before I played a lot, like I put money behind all.
Yeah, day trading is not.
But then I said, no, this is like in the long run. Yeah, you can have certain protocols that, okay, Bitcoin is pumping 5% and they go like 50, 70, or 200x. And then you think, oh my God, if I was, 1, 2, 3 in this chain of thoughts of, but it's not like that. That window of 200% pump, it's so short. It's like sometimes days, if not hours. So if you don't sell exactly and you don't play the momentum, you are out. Like then after a few days, you are 90% down.
Absolutely.
So I don't want to do that anymore. I'm comfortable with those projects. I know for sure that they're going to be here in the next 5 to 10 years. Yeah. I'm just keep acquiring them. That's it.
I absolutely agree. I think just
that's
like
totally different than
Iron
Capital. Like Iron Capital is different.
Yeah, of course.
But as a personal level, this is my strategy. What's your strategy?
My strategy, I'm a Bitcoin maxi all the way. I mean, I have tried to rebalance the portfolio to say, like, let's say 20% is Bitcoin. Is if the value of Bitcoin goes up and now my portfolio is like 28% Bitcoin, maybe I'll sell that 8% just to keep it always at 20%. I feel like that's what I've learned over the years. In 2017, 18, I would trade like stupid and be like, I learned all the lessons that I learned during that time. And
you need this stage. You need this phase. Otherwise, it's not possible.
Yeah, it's that fear that you're like, oh, it's gonna go down. I should sell it now. Then it goes up, and you're like, what am I doing? Like, there's no point to be trading this. If we always talk about this on the channel. You zoom out, look at the bigger picture. Things will go up in the long term, and so that's the kind of Now I have kids, so it's a different approach.
Yes.
Also, DeFi 2.0. I chased all these crazy coins back in 2020, 2021. I learned a lot of things during that time. So yeah. I was thinking we're going to wrap it up. I wanted to go through some of the portfolios that we've showed on the channel. We have like the gaming one, the AI, OGs. So I'll just go on CoinMarketCap and we can kind of go through those just to end it and see how things are looking. So we'll start off. I'm going to CoinMarketCap. Okay, there's the fear and greed now. Greed is 70, which is high. What do we say about this usually? It's probably a good time to take some profits.
Yeah, this is. I know you mentioned this in on the videos that whenever you feel that you are the smartest guy, please sell.
When the taxi driver is talking about Bitcoin, it's probably the time.
But we are not there yet. We are not there yet. Yeah, is the retail is not here, and I don't think they will enter in Bitcoin because Bitcoin is way too expensive for them right now. Particularly if they will see prices like $150,000.
But that
Emotionally,
always,
mentally, you try to acquire something, at least at the level of perception, something cheap, right? That's the way how you make money, right? So then when they see prices like $150,000, and that will be too expensive for them, and they will go to alts. They will enter in the other ecosystems like Sui, or maybe like I don't know. To mention another one, actually, is very hard to mention another blockchain. But yeah, definitely they will enter, and then we will see a big bull run, like the massive one.
Yeah, I think we're on. I think we're in the beginning of it. And if you guys have been following the channel, we have a watch list that you can also see. I have this one called the OGs, where I have the ones that are, the strongest. They're going to be here for the next 10, 15, 20, 30 years. Bitcoin, as we saw in the past 30 days, is up 35%. It is $6,000 away from its all-time high, so that's the upside, potential upside. Ethereum is up 61% over the past month, 52% from its all-time high. Again, what I like to do on this is show you guys from the all-time high, because it kind of showcases the potential of how high some of these coins can go. Chainlink is up 45%, 30 days, and 70%. And if you follow the channel, I go through all of these things. We go through gaming, AI, AI crypto code, Animoca brands also here. AI agents made in the USA is another theme that we saw for this year, with everything that's going on with Trump and what he has in his World Liberty Finance DeFi protocol. So yeah, I mean, it's green all over the markets and 30%, but if you look at from all-time high, there's still a lot of upside.
What do you think will be that winner of the bull run, who is now just sleeping there somewhere on the queue and will have that unbelievable run? Because it's always like that. Like one bull will bring us this.
Maybe it's time. Maybe
this player that's coming from nowhere.
Let's look at crypto bubble and look at the year. Look at virtual protocol, 1,558% over the past year. XRP is up 363%. I don't know. I mean, how are you going to find these on your own? It's impossible. It's very hard. Radium, which is a decentralized exchange on Solana, is up 80% this year. So the point is, you're not late. We're not late. There are still tokens doing 1,500% over the past year. XRP, which is a very well-known protocol and chain, 363%. Possible. Sui, 300% over the past year.
Right now, we are sitting on 3.2 trillion, right?
The value of NVIDIA,
Bitcoin,
by the way.
having 2 trillion market cap right now. Do you see in the next bull to go like close to 10 trillion as an industry?
I always talk about this. I say that NVIDIA alone is worth $3 trillion at its peak now. I definitely think the whole
because we are
crypto
talking about
industry
$7 trillion.
I think $10 trillion for sure is going to happen. Yeah, definitely.
So this 7 trillion will be like, imagine the level of pump.
Yeah, and you could assume that 55 to 60% would be Bitcoin alone. So that upside there alone. Some people think that Bitcoin is going to hit $2 million by 2030. Like, there are these kind of numbers out there.
That would be insane.
So, anything's possible.
One Bitcoin, 2 million will be like unbelievable.
Anything is possible. I think that's a great way to wrap up today's episode. Thank you so much for the live. This is our first time. Danny, I think we should do this more often. It's much more enjoyable to have you with me. And thank you guys so much.
Appreciate for everyone who is still here with us. Please don't forget to subscribe. It's your way to show us that you like our content. We put a lot of efforts to show up on weekly basis. And, we are doing this because we have big passion, but also to have this sense of building together. We want you to stay with us And yes, please give us this, show us some love, smash the like button, subscribe, and we want to see you here on the next week as well. Thank you very much.
See you next Monday. Thank you very much.